Bitcoin reached $59,900 last night. And now it seems that it is recovering, and we don't know if it's just tracing a lower low and then we're going to keep going down, or if we reached the bottom finally. Well, we have a lot to talk about, but the thing is, while everything is going down a lot, for example, year to date, Bitcoin is 23% in the red. We have Ethereum currently at 33.95% in the red, and then we have Solana at 33% in the red. All of these year to date since January 1st. And in the meantime, I am up 10% year to date, meaning that since January 1st, I am up 10%, and all it took were 6 trades. So we're going to cover the trades. I'm going to show you everything. We're going to talk about the copy trading as well. And then we're going to look at everything that we have regarding our cryptocurrencies. So let's jump right into it in today's video. Let me start by looking at the prices. Bitcoin is right now up 1.5%. Right now it's 68,126. Ethereum is almost at $2,000. We have BNB at 646. We have Solana at $83. And then if we go down, Hyperliquid is the only one that has been holding on in the past 7 days. You can see up 15%, currently at 33.82. So when Bitcoin was $100,000, Hyperliquid was at $33. And now Bitcoin is at 67,000 and Hyperliquid is also at $33. So it has been going strong. It has been recovering very, very well. And here the free grid shows 5, Extreme Fear. I don't trust this as much. I trust this one from alternative.me, and this one, it's so odd to see one figure number that even the UI is not processing things correctly. This one does not look like a circle. It is more like a pill shape. I think the HTML is a little bit broken right here, but you can see that 9 has been so low. I don't even remember when we saw 9 last time. I personally haven't seen below 8, so 8 is very, very fearful. But because today we're going up, I think this will be maybe 10, 12, 13 tomorrow. But today, 9 is a memorable number for us to see. Looking at liquidations, this is the second time, I think, in the week where we had over $2 billion liquidated in less than 24 hours. So $2.43 billion liquidated, and most of it comes from Bitcoin. 1.26 billion liquidated from Bitcoin alone. So that is crazy. We're seeing crazy numbers just because of all the things that are happening. We have files related to Epstein and Bitcoin, Bitcoin founders in the early 2011s. So all of this brings not only the credibility, but the association of Bitcoin being tied to something shady, even more than just, Silk Roads, all the sorts of piracy websites. No, Jeffrey Epstein was a very bad person, and a lot of people don't really want to be associated with that, even though he wasn't the founder. Like we saw fake emails saying that he was the founder. None of that seems to be true so far, but just because of the sheer association with the name, people are dumping a lot of it. We also have rumors of insolvency on Binance. So Binance might be insolvent. This is the rumors. Of course, none of this has been proven right now, but what it makes people think is that this could be FTX again. And FTX was a huge catastrophe, a huge blow for the markets. So this is why people are selling already before that happens. Of course, this is just a speculation right now, but it makes people think if this is something real, so take it with a grain of salt. And then altcoins, they just follow. Ethereum has been going down mainly because Vitalik has sold a huge portion of his portfolio. He has been dumping quite a lot, and even publicly, and now he's even accusing L2s of not being the scalable solution right now. We don't really know what's going on inside the Ethereum Foundation with all the L2s, L1s, and everything like that. But now let's take a look at the charts. Let's talk about some of it before we move to the topics and my personal trades. So you can see Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, they are all looking downwards, and now they seem like they are recovering. You can see Bitcoin, it touched all the way to the 59.9. Now it is at 67.9. We're almost at $68,000. We are for sure going to go to the 70Ks today. It seems mostly that this is going to happen. If you look on the daily, you see that we closed outside of the Bollinger Band. So we usually tend to correct and close inside once again. But maybe we're just going to get to the 72K and then go down, because the 72K will be where this moving average finally touches the green candle. So we may just be testing, just like we did right here. We may just be testing the moving average and then looking for lower lows once again. Again, this could happen, but doing a lot of technical analysis will not going to bring you anything in the long term, mainly because right now the market's all over the place. So this is just like a horoscope. If you're trying to predict directions or things like that just by tracing some lines, it gets very weird very fast. It gets super, complicated here in the charts. So So just looking at directions, looking at volume, these sorts of indicators, they're real, they're proven. There's a lot of volume, there's a lot of people scared, a lot of people dumping, and a lot of volatility. And you can see that all over the place as well. So maybe today and tomorrow is going to be green day for our cryptocurrencies. We have to wait and see how they act when they reach the moving average, if that's going to be just a testing and then keep going down. So I do believe that this is what we're going to be expecting. Maybe by the weekend it's going to be a green weekend, and then on Monday we have to see how the markets will react and how the stock market will react as well. Because even though Fed most likely is going to cut rates, that does not flow directly, doesn't mean money flowing into risky assets right at once, and especially not a crypto at these prices. Because right now a lot of people are scared, a lot of people are thinking, is this now the time to buy or to sell? I personally don't think this is the time to sell. It doesn't matter if you're holding, if you're going to be holding, hold the negative P&L and just DCA. This is going to lower your average price and is also going to give you better entries for sure. In 2 or 3 years we should be seeing these numbers going back up on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, Solana, any of the blue chips that you believe are going to be doing well if they survive this winter, which I do believe now we're going to be seeing a winter just like we saw in 2022 more or less. So now it's just up to you to wait. I don't think selling right now is any good. It doesn't do any good if you're trying to sell right now, so I would avoid doing that in general. But how am I making more money? How am I beating the markets? Just by holding stablecoin. Right now 90% of all my crypto portfolio is in stablecoins. Of course I do have Bitcoin, I have my blue chips, but I hold them in a cold storage and I don't even look at it, I don't even touch it, because that one I don't even need to know what's the P&L on it, because it is for the long run. And here I'm not talking 3 years, I'm not talking 4, I'm talking 7 to 10 years. I'm talking being one of these sleeping addresses that just receive money, never leaves that wallet. This is what I want to do with my cold storage. Just receives Bitcoin, receives all my blue chips, and everything I believe is going to go up in 5-10 years, and then just leave it there. And what do I do with my stablecoins? Well, I wrote an article right here if you want to go on Twitter and find me over there. This is an explanation of what I do with my portfolio, how I started selling after the $120,000 for Bitcoin last year, because I had a huge green number for Bitcoin and I needed to take some profits. And when I started seeing that the markets was kind of slowing down, and eventually we had October 10th and October 11th, which were very bad days for a lot of people. I lost a lot of money. A lot of people in crypto Twitter lost a lot of money because we were over leveraged. So that was the shift for me to switch almost all of it, especially everything from altcoins to stablecoins. So this was my strategy, and you can read here, and we talk about options, we talk about how to make money with options. And now before we end the video, let's go through my trades on trade history right here. You can see the last one is December, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, and we actually started late in January because I stopped early in December and I took a huge break from trading, from looking at charts. I didn't want to do any of this, and I just went back more than a month later because I stopped trading December 17th or 15th and I came back January 20th, and 6 trades later I'm up 10%. And you can see right here it was 2.5, 3.8, 1.7, 0.64, 0.45, 1.5, and all of this is money in my pocket, over $1,000 that I made so far, making 10% in profit in less than a month actually, because since I started January 20th and now we're February 6th, it means that it was less than a month and we're up 10%. Which brings me to the copy trading. The copy trading, a lot of people have been saying that now is slow, and Sven actually wrote on Telegram. So if you're part of the Telegram group, you saw that he explains that it is better to take less risks, especially in a market like this, and to take, calculated risks, very good entries, very short entries, instead of trying to make, a lot of money like I personally am doing on my personal portfolio. But for the ZRDTs, for the vaults, these are better if they are profitable instead of trying to be extremely profitable. So you can see that we have been collecting money, very little, 0.23 on the alt ZRDT, 0.12 on the Bitcoin strategy. And if you want to learn more about these, we have multiple videos talking about how they work, how they do. We also have the education, the academy, which is free. You just have to register in the first link in the description. So these vaults have been performing fantastic. The Bitcoin option strategy, the ZRDT right here, it has over 1 year. We have been profitable for over 1 year, almost 2 years. In March it's going to be 2 years of the ZRDT Bitcoin option strategy, and we have made more than 100%, and that's since it started, actually 117%. And the altcoin ZRDT started in October last year, and it is up 14.5, almost 15% so far. So very, very good returns. We are beating the markets 100%. We beat the markets in 2025, which closed in the red. So if you had bought Bitcoin in the beginning of 2025, by the end of it, you would have lost 5 or 10%. I'm not sure. I don't remember the exact numbers, but we've made, I think, 50 or 60% last year with these vaults, with the 0DT. And this one, which started just October last year, now is up 15%. So we are on a good track for this, for both of them to be very, very good this year as well. So this is going to be it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys on Tuesday for another video. So comment down below, what is your strategy in this current market situation? Is this a bear? Is this a winter? So are we going to stay, 1 year, 2 years sideways, with very little range? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I'll reply to every one of you down below. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Peace.